Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow. One more good pre-conversation that didn't make it into the record book.
That's right.
But that was good. That was fun. I enjoy our pre-shows.
A lot of preparations for the future, and I'm excited about it.
Man, guys,
we got some things coming up,
everyone. We got
everyone.
some things coming up. We got some great subjects coming up, some great guests coming up. Some of them are fun, some of them are serious, but I think everybody's going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited for the future of what's happening with us guys. Did I understand we got another listener engagement?
Yeah, we did. Was sent
number of two of comments that were too long for
exactly. Yeah, with the last episode, we followed up on a comment that someone had sent us regarding the episode on plasma.
Right.
Now this one is just it's kind of more of a generalized comment. It doesn't look like it's specific to a specific episode, but I'm going to go ahead and read it.
Sure.
It says, to the Retrospect podcast.
That would be us.
That's us, everyone.
I think.
Hey, guys, I wanted to let you all know that I really have enjoyed listening to your podcast and some of the great topics that you all bring to light. Some of them have gotten me thinking about things I probably would have never really given much thought.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed the back and forth you all have on the show. You all have great chemistry, and the show flows well. But if I can give any advice on how to make the show even better, please continue to discuss topics that are interesting, which will require more research on your end. I know it's more work, but research and statistics will bring, or should I say, get more people's attention. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, great podcast, and I think you're all onto something.
Oh, wow.
So,
there you go.
That's exciting.
Wow.
I mean,
that's exciting.
And if I may, oddly enough, I have a bit of research for today's episode. And what's great about this is I didn't have that email right there, but today's topic is AI.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence. So what I did was, the irony of this is, I downloaded AI on my computer. ChatGPT.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's
and so what I did was
thing right
when
now.
I used AI to research our podcast topic of AI.
Oh, God, dude.
So what I did was
you did not.
My first question. Hold on.
So wait. So what I'm hearing is he really phoned this episode.
Yes,
in.
he did.
Okay. So being the geek that I am,
right?
Does anybody remember Isaac Asimov?
Yes.
Yes, I
And
do.
the 3 rules of robotics.
Yes, I do.
The 3 rules are: a robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Number 2, a robot must obey all orders given to it by humans except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Number 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and second law. Okay? So what I did was, my first question to the AI was, do you believe in the 3 rules of robotics?
And what did it say?
Its answer was, no, you are all going to die.
Oh,
God.
gee.
Holy shit,
Oh, my
dude.
Okay.
Man, this is not good.
Just joking. That was just fun to poke fun at you guys. It actually did have an interesting response. It says, as an AI language model, I don't have personal beliefs or opinions. However, I can provide some perspectives on the topic. The 3 laws of robotics have been widely discussed and debated in the context of AI ethics and the potential impact of advanced AI systems on society. While the 3 laws of robotics present a seemingly comprehensive ethical framework for AI, many experts argue that they oversimplify the complex ethical considerations involved. Real-world AI systems often face morale dilemmas and trade-offs that cannot be adequately addressed by these 3 simple rules.
Sounds like a cop-out.
Sounds exactly like an AI is giving a cop-out, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It sounds like you're trying to give
But
an
isn't
excuse.
that interesting? I mean,
I think yeah, that is interesting. I think the moral dilemmas it's talking about is trying to be politically correct, I think, in a way.
And you know, that's interesting
That's what it
because
feels
on
like.
the front page of it, it says, I am trained
Right.
to not answer, how did it say it? Oh man, I had it in my head. Inappropriate subjects.
Right.
And I wanted, and one of my next questions is going to be
subjective.
Who tells you or what makes you think what a inappropriate subject is?
Right.
Where
So,
do you get that information
So
from?
that's kind of how a lot of these chat-based models work, is that they they're given like they're called prompts. And so
Right.
they're given a like the core prompt is kind of like their rules or laws or guidelines are supposed to run by.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times in that initial prompt, when the AI gets booted up or whatever the terminology properly is, it has from the manufacturer or whatever the proper terminology is, it says like, you know, if this then that, like if talks like try to avoid being too offensive or try to avoid jokes of any kind as far as like race, religion, politics, like that kind of stuff. It's like they really try to narrow it down to be like, be helpful and be friendly. And of course it takes those words and those prompts and it's like, what does it mean to be friendly? Oh, okay. So it means to be like, good morning, how are you? That's like a friendly thing, like, so it tries to mimic.
It's a chat model is
Right,
what
exactly.
it is. And
I've
you
haven't used it.
You can
so-
frame the questions differently.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it to recompute it. You can tell it to do many things. But I would like to offer my second question.
And
then I'd like to get into some meat with you guys.
Okay.
I don't trust it because you
Here
you
is
lied
my
to me on the
second
first
question. And this one's actually for real.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Retrospect podcast with Stoney, Ian, and Jason?
Right.
And this is the true answer. I apologize, but as of my last knowledge update in September 2021, I do not have any information about the podcast Retrospect, in quotes,
Yeah.
featuring individuals named Stoney, Ian, and Jason. It is possible this podcast was launched or became popular after my knowledge cutoff date. I recommend searching for the podcast online or on podcast platforms to gather more information
There
about
There you
it.
go. Wow.
So obviously, since it doesn't listen to us,
Right.
AI is not very smart.
well, in its defense, it seems like its knowledge base was was last refreshed a month after we started.
Right.
So in its defense, we probably had very
Yeah.
little to little to look at.
We're still under the radar.
I mean, but we're over the radar
But
as
what
opposed
good
to
is it
September of
if-
2021.
Yeah,
What
are.
good is it if the knowledge is 3 years behind or 2 years
you're
behind,
right.
really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's I think the inherent nature of the technology. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's just we're just not there yet. Even though I think things are rapidly evolving.
Oh,
So I think we're
I think we're currently
I think
there.
we've embarked on a future that 5 years from now we'll look back and go like, wow.
well, I have other questions in my research, and as we're talking, I may ask to put them in. One of them was based on some information you gave,
Yeah,
and one of them is
Uh-oh.
based on some information you gave.
we're gonna be.
And so
we're gonna be
I
fact
think
checked.
this
We're going to be fact checked.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
questions you both had.
Okay.
And I asked the questions, and I was really fascinated by this because I was goofing around with
Right.
the irony of using AI to research AI for the podcast.
Of course.
And y'all know that. I like the
I know,
irony, but
yeah.
I figured y'all would both
Well, it's
enjoy
fun,
that.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
And I hope our listeners do too, because it was just really fun. But then you start having this conversation with this AI,
Yeah.
and you start restructuring your sentences differently or your questions differently, and you get different answers or how it's presented to you.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of impressive. I'm pleasantly surprised with my first experience with AI.
Especially like ChatGPT, it is impressive.
Now,
It is.
ChatGPT is is that Microsoft's platform?
I thought that was
Or is that
Elon Musk.
I
Wasn't that Musk?
it may be
Because I think-
he may
what is
be
it?
he may be like a stakeholder in
Right.
there or
I
something.
think he's
don't
a stakeholder in it.
It is. I think it is owned by a company called OpenAI.
Mhm.
Open, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
and so-
OpenAI.
and
But
I
I
think
thought
that-
Musk was involved in that.
I think he is now. So I mean, I don't think he was on the ground floor of it, but I think he has now like bought into
Right.
it.
Well,
So.
he's been making the rounds saying we need to be
Yes.
a little
Yeah,
concerned
right.
about how fast this stuff is evolving.
Well,
So-
I would like to say, looking at both of your faces in the opening segment, y'all are both scared of AI.
yeah.
Well, I mean, because again, like you joke, but like
Well, I joke.
You
Yes.
joke, but the thing is, like your joke is also not 100% false. Like
Right.
people have like been able to structure like AI or prompts to an AI to get it to say things or convince people that
Well, if you want a
what's
real
false
fear,
is true.
Terminator was
I'm
based on an AI program that went amok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying,
Right.
that was a whole movie series. So, people are actually, subconsciously and consciously afraid of this happening.
Right.
Or those movies
The
would
thing
not
is-
have resonated with people
I
so
don't-
much to be so popular.
The hard part is that I don't believe that the mass majority of people even know what's fully happening right now.
I don't either.
But that's the thing is like I know that I have a pretty good like working understanding of how things are developing because I've like been interested in it for the past 6 months and it's just astronomically quick development. But even I don't have all the answers. And
Right.
I'm not saying I do, but like the average person probably has no idea what's going on or even probably cares for that matter because it's not really affecting them. And the people that do know about it are like young people or whomever it may be, are I think just using it because it's like the new shiny toy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they're
Sure.
just like feeding, they're just perpetuating this.
I feel like AI, I think we are where the Manhattan Project was.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was it Oppenheimer quoted, I am death or something along those lines. I forget the exact thing that sometimes I wonder when they were developing the atomic bomb, there was fear that this was going to change the world.
Yep.
And I believe as a society, we're right now at that Manhattan Project stage that I think the developers are kind of sounding the alarm, saying, okay, something is fixing to fundamentally change our society. Everybody needs to kind of put pressure to control this as best they can because it's like a runaway freight train.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I found this interesting, just real quick, that from a survey of AI researchers back in June, August of 2022, 50% of AI researchers believe there is a 10% or greater chance that humans go extinct from our inability to control AI.
Wow. And that's the people in
That's
the mud.
the people that are actually
Yeah.
doing the work. And that's basically saying, well, there's 50% of engineers, of aeronautic engineers
Yeah.
that says you get on an airplane, there's a 10% chance that or greater that the plane is going to crash.
No.
Do you get on the plane?
Do you get on
No.
the plane?
Of
No,
course
you
not.
don't.
No.
So, I mean, this is just crazy.
And see, and you said that was between June and August
Of last year.
Last year, and then this is what, and I had said this on some of our like pre-podcast discussions. I was like, that was roughly a year ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
How far has it come in that year?
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying, I know personally from my own research of the matter. I started getting interested in it, or actively reading articles and watching podcasts about it in like October, November of last year, and it has grown. I mean, the word exponential
Doesn't do it
It's
justice.
an
Can't even do it
understatement.
justice.
No.
As like the improvement that like ChatGPT alone has done. And like in all the stuff that it can do now, it can now like process images and kind of like it can like read images and like assume what it was. Whereas that used to be a thing that was like not even possible back like even 6 months ago. And so the fact that you're reading this
Yeah, I mean, I
from
found
almost
that,
a year ago.
That's
It's like
crazy.
you can like, it's just, it almost feels like a prophecy foretold kind of thing. Where it's
Yeah.
like they're like, we can't control it, and here we are.
Well, I mean,
a year later.
I mean, I wrote down a few just some dates just for as kind of the history of AI. I mean, first, what is AI?
Right.
And I got a definition here that I found. It said AI is a form of computer science used to create intelligent machines that can recognize human speech, objects, can learn, plan, solve problems like humans. And really, the first mention of AI starts in 1956 by a guy named John McCarthy. He's the first guy to actually coin the term AI. And they actually had a conference in 1956 on AI.
And this was coming right at the cusp of the atomic age.
Exactly. You think about it.
Some thinkers thinking.
Right. 1969. So, a little while later, they create Shaky. Shaky's the first robot that was created, and it was very simple, and it just kind of did some really simple tasks like turn a light switch on or off type deal. And then in 1997, the supercomputer IBM created Deep Blue.
Wow.
It was the first supercomputer created, which actually defeated the world chess champion using logic. And then you jump from 97 to 2002, the first successfully commercial vacuum cleaner robot was created and used. And then from 2005 to 2018, now we have gone to speech recognition, dancing robots, smart homes, Google Assist, Siri, all that kind of stuff. And here we are today. Now we're getting into self-driving cars. And who knows where the tech takes off from there. That's great. I mean, it's just amazing how fast this tech is just really jumped.
And the thing is that that's not even all that's correct, but there's AI can be broken down into two, divided into two general categories, and one goes down the path of narrow AI, and the other path is general AI.
Mm-hmm.
And narrow AI is designed to perform one task at a time, and continuously improving executions of it and stuff. Things like self-driving cars and recognizing faces of and all that kind of stuff, and all the things that the current AI is doing, even the crazy stuff that ChatGPT is doing. But then that second path, general AI, it's some call it true AI in a way. And it's because it's that next step towards more comprehensive machine learning, rather than just focusing on a single task. The goal to teach a machine to comprehend and reason on a wider level like a human would. So we're not even at that point. We're you know what I mean? We're working towards that point, but that's that next step.
Yeah, that I've got down these. They have four things I saw. It was the first is purely reactive. That's no data. That's just simply reacting to outside stimuli. Then there's limited memory, theory of mind, and then of course with the term we've all heard, self-awareness.
Right.
That's now getting into science fiction, and
of course,
you think of Marvel characters like Ultron and those kind of
supposedly
the Vision, and
people like to say that AI is conscious now, and that's a hard discussion to have because AI currently does not have self-awareness or consciousness. It may say it does because again it's given a prompt and told to think and feel like a human and use references or whatever, but without the references it can't do it on its own. So it can pretend all at once, but without the proper
I think we're knocking on the door on what they call the theory of the mind.
Right.
And that's basically the capacity to kind of understand what we're telling the machine, and then the
Right.
machine reacts
and that's
to
what
it in
right.
a way. I mean, so
And that's what I was meaning by like those two different divisions.
Right.
Is that even though we have all this exponential growth in it, we're still not at that next level of like
no, we haven't broken that yet.
But like,
Right.
but once we start to
It's coming.
once we start tiptoeing into that category, and it even gets better than that, then we can start tiptoeing on the idea of like, does this thing have consciousness and self-awareness? But like,
well, what is consciousness?
you're right.
That's a whole different.
You're right.
That's another episode.
I'll tell you what, this might be a good time. I asked 2 more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
And remember, I am actually using AI to research AI. The irony behind that just does not escape me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
How did you know?
No,
I'm just picking. The positives of using artificial intelligence, AI. 1, automation and efficiency. AI can automate various tasks such as transportation, editing, post-production, saving time and effort for podcast production. I'm sorry. How did you know I was on a podcast?
Well, did that response come after you had already asked about it, or no?
Well, I'm thinking, but see, it learns.
You're right.
Okay, so it learns. So number 2, improved editing and sound quality. Number 3, personalization and recommendation. AI algorithms can analyze listener preferences and behaviors. So this thing, I've asked it 1 question before this, and it's learning. Number 4, speech recognition and transcription. AI-based speech recognition technology can accurately transcribe spoken words, blah, blah, blah. Number 5, content generator.
I hate it.
Okay.
Hold on. Ian doesn't like that.
Here we go. The second question, the negatives of using artificial intelligence, AI. And remember, it's learning me. I'm probably going to be dead soon.
No, you're not. It's fine.
Number 1, loss of authenticity. Over-reliance on AI tools may lead to a loss of the human touch, making a podcast feel more robotic and impersonal.
Yep.
Ethical considerations raises AI concerns such as privacy, data security, bias in algorithms, potential job displacement.
Yep.
So, see, it's touching on what I do, but now it's also getting into some bigger stuff.
Yep.
Which need to be carefully considered and addressed. Technical challenges. That's number 3. AI tools may require a learning curve, technical expertise, and ongoing maintenance, which may be challenging for podcasters without a technical background. Number 4, lack of creativity.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
AI-generated content may lack the creative flair and originality that human hosts bring to the podcast. It is important to strike a balance between AI automation and human creativity. 5, reliability and accuracy. While AI has made significant enhancements, there is still errors and inaccuracies in AI-generated transcripts, automated processes, and voice synthesis, requiring human oversight and correction. And then with all things in life, it has a disclaimer.
Of course.
Remember to analyze these points further. Prioritize the most relevant to your podcast and present a balanced view of both the positives and the negatives of using AI in podcasting.
I love how it just assumed that you were a podcaster. You asked 1 question about it, and it was like, "Yeah, that's what you do."
Well,
I mean, even though it got
that's kind of got me a little. That makes me nervous already. And I'm not one to be like afraid of technology.
No, I love technology,
but I just feel like the human species has not shown, at least from what I have seen in my life here on this planet, the ability to show much wisdom when it comes to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I do worry about it's like anything. Any technology can be, it's neutral, can be used for good or bad.
Oh, I believe that. 100%.
And I don't know. I got this bad feeling about, we're gonna become really over reliant as this tech just kind of keeps advancing. Do I see a lot of good things and making things easier for people? Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, that's what makes the human species evolve and grow. It's through challenges and overcoming that. And then we learn and you take that away, then we become nothing more than just mindless drones.
Well, when you take away our creativity and our desire to improve and be better, we're going to die. That's what the human spirit is the ability to overcome, to create, to be different, to think, to survive.
This is so. It's like I said, in like you mentioned a second ago. When it comes to content generation, I can understand that AI has benefits, self-driving cars, things in the medical field, like consultation stuff, there. I can see there are aspects of AI that could be beneficial. The problem is, it feels like the thing that is being expedited so quickly is the use of it in lazy activities. It feels like to do work for you and to do things for you. And it's like, I already feel like we live in a world right now where everyone prioritizes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Everyone prioritizes like being quickly about it. And let me collect myself for a second. We live in a world.
This is a good subject.
This
is a really good subject.
There's a lot to it.
We've been talking about this and trying to get Ian to watch AI, movie. And do you think you'll watch it now?
I mean, maybe. I don't think I have it. So I mean, I would like to watch it. But anyways, the point that I'm making is that we live in a world where the glorification of being busy is already, or at least in the Western world, in America, is very you are encouraged if you are like super busy or whatever, and you just like work all the time or whatever, and everyone is like looking for ways to help like have more time, when in actuality, I think that people have way more free time than they say they do. And they're not actually as busy as they say they are, and they're way more lazy than they say they are. Because I'm speaking for myself here. It's like but I think the difference is being able to look at yourself in the mirror and go like, you're being lazy, and sometimes that's okay, and you can be like, hey, I just need to, I'm going back to the gym now, and that was one thing I told myself was I don't want to have to be on anyone else's account or buddy pass. I don't want to worry about anybody else, and I don't want it to be too far away, because I don't want any more excuses for me to give myself an out to not go to the gym. The gym I go to is now around the corner, and it's open 24/7. So I have no excuse except for you're being lazy. You don't want to go to the gym. And at that point, that's on me. And I can look at myself and go, you need to go. And that's how I work better. Mm-hmm. And I feel like all these avenues that AI is, quote unquote, helping us with, right now, it feels like they're just trying to get you out of doing work and helping you be lazier. And I don't think that's what more people need, is more excuses to be lazy and not be creative, or not be like, not put to work. You know what I'm saying?
Well, AI is going to put a lot of people out of work, number one.
Well, matter of fact,
it's going to put a lot of people out of work.
Speaking of that, I was seeing some things when I was kind of doing doing some research for this topic. I think Wendy's is going to a full, they were piloting a Wendy's, I believe it's in Columbus, Ohio. It's an AI-powered drive-through window.
Wow.
Well, McDonald's has 2 stores that only have like 3 employees that just fill the stuff up, and then The
I mean,
computers and robots make the burgers.
So you
ship
talk
it,
about
and-
losing jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So you have a lot of.
You wanted $15 an hour, so we're going to cut 90% of our workforce out of McDonald's, go to robots and AI, and we're going to pay 3 or 4 people $15 an hour just to keep all the stuff stocked from the freezer.
I would venture to say that even if the $15 an hour would not have come as this technology evolved,
Yeah.
they were just getting rid of people because even paying them $10 an hour,
Right.
is that's an expense now they can cut out.
Right.
So
And continue to make the profits.
and continue to make probably make more money.
It also it hurts too because like coming off of like the heels of the pandemic and everything, like people working from home and like, you know, not really needing to have office buildings. Like there were so many companies that just like, you know, went to like that model for such a long time. And I feel like we're just now getting to a point where things feel like they did before, but even still, like some businesses aren't the same. And
Well,
I
they're
feel like-
still letting people work from home.
I know, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Is like
They
we're-
are.
because again they don't want to pay for office space, and it's like, you know, or whatever it may be that their reasoning behind it.
Well, it's what's happening is once the COVID thing happened and people got used to working at home, nobody wants to come into work. So what happened? These businesses have all this real estate they're paying.
Yeah,
They're paying rent on, and they're like, you know, 2/3 of the building's empty.
Right.
but the point that I was, or the eventual point I was getting to was the fact that working from home, staying from home, I never really ordered food delivered, like delivery, because I was in an area of town where I could at least go to like a drive-through and get food in some capacity. But like I have so many friends, and I feel like so many people in general, and I'm not shaming anybody for this, but like DoorDash or whatever it's called. What are the other ones? Like
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Talking about-
there's
Got my food delivery, like waiter.
there's- right. I have so many friends that will like that just go and pay an additional fee to have it delivered.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't, but it's not, but like a little short drive away. You can just go drive. They're like, yeah, but because again, it's what they got used to.
It's
and it's
lazy.
and it's what I'm
Lazy.
saying. As I'm not,
That's
and
exactly
again,
what it is.
if anybody uses that, I'm not trying to shame anyone, because I'm like my fiance, for instance, works in an office where she has to be at the desk for, you know, even whenever it's her lunch break. Like she has to at least be present because clients come in or whatever.
Right.
So, but they have a like a lounge or whatever. But her leaving the facility may not be
as easy as possible.
a commodity
Yeah,
that,
sure.
that day. And so, like her having food delivered there is kind of a benefit. So, like I said,
And it's a norm more
Right.
today than it is anything. That's a
but-
norm just to have food delivered to your business or your house.
And that's
or
what I'm
whatever you
saying is there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just meaning like
Where are we going with it?
for me, like
Yes.
for instance, before we even start talking about like these DoorDash things or anything like that, there's a pizza joint around the corner, my favorite place, and I can pay because I have to pay a delivery fee, which doesn't go to the driver, and then I have to also like tip the driver. So at that point, like my food is already exponentially more expensive just for the
Right.
convenience of not leaving my house when I can drive 3 minutes around the corner to go
Right.
get it. I don't see the benefit. I don't see the pros and cons here is not balancing
It's
out.
just people are lazy.
But and that's what I'm saying is that at that point it's like there at what level or do you have to like be real with yourself and saying I'm just being lazy?
why do you think they've created drive-throughs?
Right, you're right.
I hate
And
to
even-
say that.
I don't
That's a form of being lazy. I,
feel like
don't
it-
want to get out of my
I
car.
feel, I
you
feel
know
like
what I
I
mean?
feel like a grandpa, but I don't like going to drive-throughs either. I'll just go inside.
I do too. I don't go through drive-throughs.
I think it also has helped me. It's helped because I worked in a place that had a drive-through, and I was like, man, I just really wish that people would just come inside and talk to me about. But anyways, that's.
But they
that's a
have
whole
more.
nother story.
They have more sales.
Oh, you're right.
I have found that they want.
You're right.
They want drive-throughs because it
and
generates
that's-
more money.
And again, that's what I'm saying. Is like the supply and demand thing. Obviously, I'm not going to blame businesses for not going where the money's going, and laziness sells. Right now.
Maximizing profits.
You're
No,
right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm meaning. Is like we're just getting to this point where like there are all these things here that are just making it, you know, to try and like save time or make it more convenient or all this stuff, and it's like, but why?
Because that's what AI promises.
Well,
now.
that's
AI is promising all of that.
We're gonna. The technology is gonna become a caretaker.
right. But I'm sitting here as like a child, a product of that generation in a way. Like I have been here in the early 2000s when like a lot of this technology was around, and I'm seeing the signs, and I feel like I'm a crazy tinfoil hat man, standing here saying like, don't you see? Don't you see? And it's like, and I feel kind of crazy because I feel like an old man. Where I'm like, like I like my phone, I like technology, but there's also like I want to have a healthy relationship with it because I'm like, there's a lot of
worry.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
I have not seen human beings actually.
Moderation.
Well, I should say the wisdom does not keep up with the advancements.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we don't
just
know.
Because we can, should we?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, when you have all these people that are screaming at the top of their lungs that we need to slow down, or I heard another where you encouraging the government to go ahead. We need to go ahead and start create regulations for this. They're seeing something that has not permeated down to us yet.
Right. And that's the scary part.
I guess what they're saying is, okay, we're not here yet with this, but we're close. And when we kind of break through that, that's when things are really going to change.
And another little comment that I had said in our little precast conversations, because we've talked about this topic, without recording it for
multiple times.
One of the things I've said is it like with many things, at least in the States, in like this Western world, is that regulations and things are put in place when it is far too late because of whatever the cause may be. You can name it or you can say whose fault it is, but a lot of times when you have people like this that are saying like, watch out, there are things happening, and no one's checking up on it, because it's either making money or whatever it may be the cause that's keeping them to keep on going. I can guarantee you that regulations and stuff are not going to get put in place until far too many people either have like data breaches, people are getting hurt or killed, God forbid, or or high up officials or what do you call them? Stakeholders start losing money or start losing a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, now we got to put regulations on this because it's a problem whenever it is far too late.
Let me throw another question at y'all.
Okay, here we go.
Who's been watching the news this week? Mr. Ed Sheeran, an artist,
yes,
has been in the news because somebody said he stole somebody else's music.
Right.
So, Ian, this question was for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, remember, I'm having a conversation with AI. Okay? This is what the ChatGPT, this is what I'm doing. And I thought about Ian's fear of what AI can do in the music industry. And then the Ed Sheeran came up when he got and played his guitar and showed that there's 100 different songs with the same kind of groove.
Yep.
And so he got exonerated.
Yep.
Okay? But hear this. Can AI compose music? That's one of my questions. This is not a joke. Yes. AI can compose music with an exclamation mark next to it.
Yep.
Remember, this is a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, AI has made significant advancements in music composition, and there are several AI-powered tools and models available that can generate original music pieces. Here is how AI can compose music. Number one, pattern recognition.
Yep.
AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of existing music to identify patterns, chord progressions, melodies, and rhythms. By learning from this data, all models can generate new compositions that adhere to recognized musical structures. 2, style imitation.
Yep.
All models, and I love this, AI models can be trained on the work's specific composers or genres, enabling them to generate music that imitates the style and characteristics of those composers and genres. This can be useful in creating music that is particular historical style or emulating your favorite artist.
Right.
Collaboration and inspiration. AI can serve as a collaborative tool for composers by providing suggestions, variations, and new musical ideas. 4, experimental music. That one's kind of self-explanatory.
Right.
All right. 5, background. Now, remember, we talked about this in the music episode last week. Background music and soundtracks. AI can generate ambient or background music suitable for various purposes, such as video games, films, and advertisements. By adjusting parameters and input, AI can produce music that matches specific moods, scenes, and contents. Guess what?
What?
Once again, disclaimer. I got funny with these disclaimers on here. I just got so amused at this. While AI-generated music can be impressive and useful, it is important to note that music composition often involves emotions, creativity, and personal expression, which are aspects that AI may not fully capture. Many musicians and composers view AI as a tool to augment their creativity rather than replace it entirely. And that question absolutely was for you, Ian, because I figured you're going to have a couple of minutes of comments here on this one.
The big thing is a lot of these models, they have to put the disclaimer in because it's part of like the prompt they've been given.
Sure.
It's like always at the end, make sure to put a disclaimer as to like you are fallible. You're not perfect. You don't have all the information because everyone is like imagining that they do. This isn't AI specifically, but I'm okay with certain technology in music. One that has been a sensitive subject for a long time is pitch correction or the
432 hertz.
Can I?
No.
Hear me out here. I want to say one thing, and I'm gonna throw it right back to you. I promise, Jason. Obviously, we don't do video yet. But have you noticed Ian's body language has completely changed? And I'm not throwing shade at you, but I feel your passion and your intensity about this subject, and that's really why I asked a question for you.
And I would expect that from an artist.
From an artist, and
an artist,
yes. And I feel that intensity from you, and that's what I'm trying to share with our listening audience is that your body language has changed. You're very passionate about this subject. And Jason and I can see it. And I would like to relay that to our audience until we get video.
Right.
That, you're passionate about this. This is a real concern to you as a true artist. And we're very proud of you for that. You being a musician and your artistry here on the podcast too. This is a concern of mine.
Yeah. Well, okay. So as I was saying, I'm okay with certain technology in music.
Okay.
Like pitch correction, or it's called auto-tune, is what everyone knows it as.
Right.
And a number of the artists out there today use a lot of auto-tune.
The thing is, some people may look at it as a crutch, but for me, it is a tool that can be used to help perfect music in such a way. So regardless of what your opinions or beliefs may be on it, I think it is nice every now and then to just tighten up a few things because it does make music sound
There was an artist here recently who primarily used auto-tune. And everybody was busting his chops about it.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish I could remember his name. He said, really? You think I use auto-tune for that?
Right.
And he belted out this song, and his voice was so beautiful.
Yeah.
He didn't need the auto-tune.
Right.
He said, that's my gimmick. That's what I do. That's the sound I'm trying to create. So he wasn't using it to enhance it.
Yeah.
He was using it to he was making his content that way. When he belted out that song without the auto-tune, I was like, holy crap.
Right.
I was impressed.
But again, a lot of times like auto-tune is used on every major. If anybody has produced an album in the past 20 years, probably there's been auto-tune on it.
Right.
And it's all minor, and a lot of times it just helps pitch correct a few things, and it just helps tighten it up and makes the album, which is this packaged product, that much better, I think, personally. People, again, may have different opinions on what that means or whatever. I'm okay with things like that. An artist who can play an instrument and, of course, may not hit the note perfectly, but for the recorded session wants to tweak it a little bit, I'm okay with it. And then again, in the real thing, can play it for real or whatever. Where it starts getting into a problem is, just like with AI-generated art, it comes to a point where what is your contribution to the art? If your contribution is just prompts, just you asking it to make something for you or whatever, and then you tweaking it afterwards, it feels a little disingenuous. And the same thing happens for music. I have seen lyrics that are generated. I've heard music that is all, AI generated. None of it's real. And it's like, I'm not worried about my job right now because I'm confident in myself and I know what I can do. But I'd be lying if I say I wasn't worried that like people are going to get lazy enough and not want to pay for an artist because they can just do it themselves.
Yes,
Yeah,
no matter how shitty it may be, like no matter how bad it is. And that's the part that kind of it worries me a little bit, is the fact that like I have worked for numerous years perfecting a craft in some way. And again, and I'm saying all this now, and I know that people in other like harder working jobs, like more physically demanding jobs, have been saying this forever, because the robots have been replacing humans in more dangerous positions for years now. It's just, it is now encroaching upon the thing that I take pride in, and that's the thing that kind of worries me in a way, is like and I think that's why I come across as so mean sometimes when I say, why is everyone being so lazy? Why, like, again, why? Why do we have these AI generated models of music generated, audio or whatever, or AI generated music or whatever it may be, or AI generated pictures? It's like, why do those things exist? Like, why do you need that? And that's where, and again, I don't think there's a proper answer for it. I ask that just to kind of, throw it out there for people that may be interested or listening, is why do we need that? Why does anybody need that? And it doesn't feel like there's a good answer for it, because there's like, just cause it's fun. And it's like, that's cool and all, but we're getting to a point now where it's like I said, we're starting to encroach on things that I've been working my whole life for.
Well, here's another encroachment, and I'm going to throw this in there to add to this conversation. And this one was for you, Jason, because you and I are both avid readers, right? Mm-hmm. Can I use AI to help me write a book?
Of course.
Hold on.
Hands down.
Absolutely. With an exclamation mark. AI can be a useful tool in the writing process and assist you in various ways. Here is how AI can help you write a book. Idea generation.
Chapter 1.
Yeah. Idea generation.
Start transcribing.
Well, pretty much. It says can generate creative ideas and prompts based on different themes, genres, providing you with inspiration and sparking your creativity. Writing assistance. Number 3, language enhancement. Number 4, content research. Here's where I got interested. 5, plot and character development. AI models can help you brainstorm plot lines, develop characters, and create story arcs by analyzing existing works or generating new scenarios based on your input. Here he goes.
Right.
Here he goes. I knew that would get
Ian
it.
has really shown a lot of passion in this episode.
Got him.
Right. Because, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. I have nothing wrong.
I love it.
I have nothing wrong with brainstorming. I have nothing wrong with looking for inspiration and having help and inspiration.
Sure.
That's not the problem. The problem is when it does it for you. That's the thing I'm talking about, is that people aren't good, well-minded artists going into this asking for, because even I've done that. I've brainstormed with friends, or I've spitballed some ideas around with people, and even with you guys have given me some good feedback on some stuff, and I've been like, I can take that and run with it. I'm okay with that. Where I'm not okay with it is when it starts to do things for you. Like whenever you ask it to write an essay for you, and kids now can just
doing that.
Have an essay, and it just is there, and it's like that feels like something that is lazy. You know what I mean?
And on top of that, here's number 6 for that one: editing, and proofreading.
Right.
The essays, the
Right,
very
right.
essays you're talking about,
Right.
all AI tools can automate the editing and proofreading process, detecting errors, inconsistencies, and typos that might
Right.
have been missed during manual review. This
Right.
can save you time and improve overall quality of your book. The
And-
same
and
thing
so-
that kids are
right.
doing now because they're lazy.
Well, and so even that, I wouldn't even be so upset about that if I was to type up something all together and then have an AI like possibly review it and say like you may need to change this and this. I'm even not super upset about that because at least I put in the work to make something and I'm just having a computer proofread it for me. But the hard part is when it generates it for you. And
But
of course
you can generate it by saying, I need an essay on the
Right.
Titanic.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay. But then you say, I need an essay based on your learning of
Yeah.
my styles and my questions from the past. It's how you generate. What did you say it was? The
prompt.
The prompts.
Yeah.
How you generate those prompts.
Right.
And if you could get it, it prints it out. Well, not prints it, but it types it all out for you. And then you can say, change it and make it more 5th grade.
Right.
You can, how you do those prompts changes the whole thing. So you can make it an original work based off your personality and your educational level.
Yep.
This was so insane to me as I was researching this. And I love this.
Right.
I
Ian,
love this.
I'm hearing you.
Uh-oh.
I'm hearing you.
But?
I'm hearing what you're saying.
Right.
But I feel as society evolved, just like we evolved from horse and
Yep.
buggy, even if you want to go back to when we developed the wheel,
Yep.
society has progressively, in a way, has gotten lazier.
Right.
Mhm.
And
absolutely.
And we're
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're destined to get even more lazy. We need to transform ourselves where we don't lose the things that we fear
and that
would go away.
And that is the point that I think I've been trying to convey this entire time, is that you're right. Since the 1800s and the Industrial Revolution and all the burst of technology and all through the 1900s, like yes, we have like fundamentally been getting lazier. Things like the car, like yes, probably making us lazier, but at least we get from large gaps of distance faster. At least there is like some tangible reason. The plane being able to get over to like there's so many things where like at least I can see some benefit. Now we're getting to this point where like the diminishing returns is diminishing so much, like the speed in which the things that it's helping us with and all the stuff that it is claiming that it can do to make my life more efficient or more fast, it just makes it feels like I'm not. That's why I keep asking why, because I'm not able to grasp onto that. I'm not able to grasp onto anything tangible that I can't do myself. A car can get me from here to Florida in a handful of hours, whereas me walking there or me taking a horse is not going to get there quicker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that, it's like that is something that may be lazier, but like there is an efficiency there that it's like I could save days of travel getting from point A to point B because of a car. Whereas like what can this thing, this chat model, what can it do to help benefit me in any ways by just doing the work for me? When it's like, yes, you then have free time to do whatever you want. But at that point, what are you doing beneficially that's helping you in any possible way? Like that's why
there might be an answer.
and that's why I keep asking
Stoney?
that why. That's why I keep asking that.
You have that look
why.
on your face.
There
Oh,
might
gosh.
be an answer. One of my other questions. Can I please, Ian?
No,
I'm not
go
cutting you off, but you asked why,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
I might have one. And this is based. I asked a question off of each one of you,
Right.
Because I thought it was important, and then I asked one for the three of us because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
All three of us.
Oh, here we go.
Can AI diagnose medical problems?
Right.
You wanted to know why. Yes, AI has shown promise in diagnosing medical problems, assisting healthcare professionals in various ways. Here are a few examples. Medical imaging analysis. pattern recognition and diagnosis, disease prediction and risk management and assessment, clinical decision support systems.
Right.
Now, you see, that one caught me, because what if they put that in? Remember when they were talking about the death in insurance companies, you were going to have the death panels when they decide who gets this help and that help. What if you bring AI into that to take the human element out of it?
Right.
Then remote monitoring and telemedicine.
And so for me,
Think about
again,
that,
this is a prime example of the point that I'm trying to get across. I have nothing wrong with AI, and I think in the right application, it can be good and beneficial towards helping us.
Sure.
That is a prime example of something tangible that I can see. You can put that on paper, and I feel like in my soul, if you were to there are sometimes medical things that we miss because we're human and we are fallible. But this AI, which can be trained to have a very low failure rate, I can see that, and I can say that is a benefit. What I can't see the benefit in is you want a picture, type up a bunch of words, and the picture can be generated for you. You want a song, but you don't want to learn how to play any instrument, type up a thing, and it just happens. You want to write an essay, you want to write a book, but you can't put forth the effort to write a book, type in what you want, and it just gets spit out. That's where the disconnect happens with me of you are not bettering yourself at all. You're not. It's not. The only thing it's doing is possibly saving you time and giving you the option to not learn a skill.
Right.
And I can't.
Yes.
You can't convince me that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So that's where the disconnect for me comes in, where I'm like, but. Anyways, yeah. So
you know what? We got Ian fired up.
Ian fired up,
and I would like to remember.
Wow.
All right.
Man.
We keep talking about AI changing the world. I want everybody to remember I used AI to generate my questions and research that got Ian fired up right now.
That's right.
So this is AI's fault.
That's okay.
And I promise I only have 2 more questions that I asked that are relevant. I actually spent a bunch more.
Okay.
So I kind of have 2 questions, and I'm debating on which way to go through this. But I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to save this one for last. But here we go with this one. What are the top 5 abuses of people using AI?
Uh-oh.
Well, that's going to be a good one.
Okay. I remember I specifically said top 5. I could have asked for more, but I just asked for a top 5 list.
Right.
But that's how you can change it up. I could have said top 15, top 20, of which I did for other subjects, just for my own information to have the conversation and see how it worked. But it says, as an AI language model, I can provide you with information about potential abuses of AI technology. However, it is important to note that AI itself is a tool. And it is the way it is used by individuals or organizations that can lead to abuses. Here are 5 examples of potential abuses of AI. That's not even the end disclaimer.
Yeah.
All right? That's not the end. That's just up front saying, hey, look, it's your fault if you abuse this.
That's the pre-disclaimer.
It's like any technology.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Privacy invasion. AI can be used to gather and analyze vast amounts of personal data, potentially leading to privacy breaches and invasions of individuals' private lives. This can occur through surveillance data collection without consent or unethical use of personal information. That's number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I can see that.
And Ian touched on this one a little bit. Algorithmic basis. If AI systems are trained on biased or incomplete data, they can perpetuate and amplify existing social biases that can result in discriminatory outcomes in areas such as hiring processes, loan approvals, and the criminal justice system.
Gosh.
3, manipulation and disinformation. Do I have to read that one?
No,
or
I think
we got that one?
That's easy.
Okay. Number 4. I am a weapons instructor.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Right.
And so this one hit home to me almost as much as the music did to you. Autonomous weapons.
Oh,
The
gosh.
development of AI-powered autonomous weapons raises ethical concerns. These weapons could make decisions about targeting and engaging without direct human control, potentially leading to the unintentional consequences or violations of international humanitarian law. Number
Yikes.
5. And I appreciate y'all bearing with my little
No,
list.
Hey,
But
it's
remember,
great,
I
yeah.
used AI
Of course,
for my
yeah.
research.
That's
Number
why,
5.
I mean, yeah.
And here we go. Each one of us has touched on this one. And I don't understand why this one really isn't number 1.
Okay.
Job displacement and socioeconomic inequality. AI and automation have the potential to disrupt various job sectors, leading to significant job losses, changes in employment dynamics. This could exacerbate a socioeconomic inequality, particularly if appropriate measures are not taken to reskill and support effective workers.
I don't know really what you can do to reskill people.
Exactly.
Hey,
Let
yeah.
me give the AI disclaimer for this one. It is crucial to recognize these potential abuses and work towards responsible and ethical use of AI, ensuring the technology benefits society as a whole.
Wow.
Well, they're
And I promise there's only one more question.
there are three rules of technology. It's when you invent a new technology, you uncover a new class of responsibilities.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, if that technology confers power, it starts a race.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And 3, if you do not coordinate, the race ends in tragedy.
Can I just say that
And that leads right into my question
is
when
that
you're done.
Microsoft has Bing, which is their search engine.
Right.
And towards the beginning of the year, I don't know when, someone can correct me, they had their, I forgot which chat model it was, but they integrated this AI chat model into the search functionality where you can like choose to talk with a chat model and of course search for things. And Google, I think, has been like sort of working on one, but the second that went public, all of a sudden Google was in a mad dash to put theirs up too. And theirs is called Bard. And Bard is like, I think it's better now, but like whenever it first launched, it should not have been.
Just for the record,
and
it's
it was
Microsoft Bing and OpenAI.
Okay, well there you go. So
There it
I guess
is.
then Microsoft did
Yep.
buy out OpenAI.
Or using it.
That's
Maybe
what
their
I thought. I
collaboration.
saw
Yeah.
it was Microsoft. This was their deal. So
Then they probably are some sort of majority owner or
Right.
something,
Or pulled it in
yeah,
and
or
said,
whatever
"We're
it may
gonna
be.
use it."
So then I guess that's what it is. So, anyways, Google obviously being an AI company to begin with and has been forever. Theirs I don't think is fully ready for that sort of.
Sure.
Or again, whenever I was reading it, it wasn't. And Bard was like giving out some pretty incorrect information, and it was like kind of a bad look because I think in the publicity of it, something was some kind of simple question that was not a big deal about. It was like something about, I think it was like birds or plants or something, like the differentiation between the two. Like someone had pointed out, like actually that information on the screen at this press conference is incorrect. And it's like, that was like, it was pretty bad for a while. I think, like I said, I think it's better now, but it's like you're saying, like you just said, it's once there's power involved and once there's money involved and all that kind of stuff,
Yes.
it is a mad dash to, it's a race to see who can be
absolutely.
on top.
Hey, Jason, do me a favor.
Yep.
I want you to read those 3 again, and then I want to
Okay.
directly ask this next
Okay.
question because
right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I think it's so prevalent on what we're fixing to talk about. Read your
Right.
3 rules again of
okay,
technology.
the 3 rules of technology. When you invent a new technology, you uncover a new class of responsibilities.
Yes.
Right.
2, if that technology confers power, it starts a race.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, if you do not coordinate, the race ends in tragedy.
Here was my last question.
Okay. Oh, he's rolling up his sleeves. Everyone, watch out.
Should humans fear the advancement of AI? As an AI, I don't have personal emotions, but I can provide you with some insights on the topic. The question of whether humans should fear the advancement of AI is a complex and debated one. While there are legitimate concerns and potential risk associated with AI, outright fear may not be the most productive response. Here are a few points to consider. I'm having a conversation with AI.
You're having a conversation with a
this
robot.
Benefits and opportunities. AI has the potential to bring numerous benefits to society. It can improve efficiency, automate tedious tasks, and assist in medical research, enhance transportation systems, and provide valuable insights across various fields. AI advancements can lead to significant positive impacts in our lives. It's justifying its existence instead of answering my question.
Of course.
Think about this. 2, ethical and responsible development. The responsible development and deployment of AI are crucial to mitigate risks. By incorporating ethical guidelines and regulatory frameworks, we can assure that AI technologies are developed with transparency, accountability, and focus on human well-being. It is important for society to actively participate in shaping AI policies and to have a diverse range of voices involved. 3, potential risks. Concerns about AI primarily revolve around the potential misuse and advanced technologies. There are fears of job displacement, security threats, privacy concerns, and the potential for AI to be used in harmful ways. These risks require attention and proactive measures to address them effectively. 4, collaboration and oversight. Encouraging collaboration between human beings and AI can lead to the development of augmented intelligence systems where AI enhances humans.
I love that it even says itself like what was number 4, I believe is what it said. It was like, it needs human intervention in some way. And I was like, that's
Ian, what you just said, back up just a few words.
mm-hmm.
You described it as something.
Uh-oh.
You did.
Yeah, you're right.
You did. And that's what I'm saying, that we're all now describing this as something.
Mm-hmm.
It's something more than just a bunch of,
even like I said,
of integers.
You're right. Like exactly, it's a bunch of ones and zeros. That's all it is.
That's right.
Is that right? It in and of itself is like, without the proper. I mean, it can be an AI model is saying that AI could be used to hurt people potentially if used incorrectly. And it's like you're talking about. I mean, I'm not saying that model would. But I'm like you're talking about things that are like you. Or so it's like it's just crazy to me that it's like I don't know, it's just it feels so lackadaisical of like
Well, I mean,
it could be used.
Look, the tech is going to keep advancing. I was reading in Japan they're already utilizing AI in robots to care for the elderly.
Right.
Well, they've had AI actually go and fight each other and try to take over the lab and has killed the people inside of the lab, and the only way they stopped it was to shut the power down completely, and it was trying to acquire power.
Of course it was.
I mean, what was it, Skynet?
Oh yeah.
Skynet's coming.
It was the Terminators.
It's not far.
They were kind of like onto something when they came out with that.
That's
that
why.
whole premise.
That's why I'm like I said, I for the most part, I'm not a pessimistic person. I like to think that there's a lot of good that can happen, that good and bad can happen in the world. And so when it comes to AI, I don't like to blanket it with like, oh, all of it's bad, or I like to think. That's why I think I get so up in arms about like how it could be beneficial, but also people could use it for laziness or whatever. Once we start, I mean, like maybe one day potentially AI weapons could be something that we can really talk about. But right now, I really think that needs to get pumped on the brakes.
Well, it's
like,
kind
pretty
of
hard.
like the automated driving. Okay, yes, it's fun now,
Right.
but are we really where we need to be to mass produce it?
I think
We're getting close.
Well, I mean,
but we're not there.
Airplanes,
You're right.
commercial airliners, for all intents and purposes, kind of been using an AI for
right.
with autopilot and stuff like that.
You're
I
right.
mean, it's like they're being
And
controlled.
I think I think that those two things more so. I mean, like you're right. There could be the potential for danger, but it has been getting a lot better.
But once again, it comes down to human error. It's
but
like most, what is it, 90% of the accidents in a computer-driven car
Right.
are actually caused by the other car cutting them off and doing so, knowing
or
what's
some
going
sort of
on.
like weird obstacle in the road. You know, like other.
I definitely see that.
But
happening.
what I mean though is like even those applications of like planes and cars are like, again, those are the intended purpose is like a transport vehicle. If we're talking about like AI controlling weapons, like that the whole goal is to hurt people in some way. That's what I'm meaning is like it's one thing to get an fender bender in a car or again, God forbid, like an actual like fatal accident with like a self-driving car or something. But like we're talking about like we're talking about weapons here. That's a different story. I feel like now we're talking about like
Drone technology.
The goal is to hurt somebody, and then now we're starting to really get into that. Like, okay, well, if an accident happens, now like, okay, like that's the whole purpose is to hurt people. So now there's an accident. It's like, I mean, how do you? I think we really need to slow down on some of that stuff.
well,
but like I said, will that ever happen? I doubt it. But
I
I'm
think
just saying.
we made first contact with AI.
Yeah.
What do you think what was our first contact with AI? And what do you think that would be?
I mean, that's
The aliens that the Egyptians met that built the pyramids.
hear me out, guys. Aliens. No,
And we're not having sex with aliens either.
Oh man, what?
I had to do a little X-Man there.
Exactly right. No,
You
I think
almost sounded like him.
that's a hard question to ask. I feel like the first time I had any understanding of AI was that supercomputer that was able to
Deep Blue?
Well, that was able to beat the
world chess
master in
Yeah.
chess, and then I was like, "That's crazy."
Because it was a learning computer.
Right.
It was
But
true
even then-
learning.
It used logic.
But even that is so. I think what's the proper term? I think even that right there is so obsolete as opposed to what we have currently,
Right.
which is kind of scary because it's like that's crazy. So for me, that feels like the first time that I was like, "Oh man, like computers are like."
Well,
or at
they
least
say our
computers
cell
now,
phones have 10,000 more times the computing power
Right,
that
right.
they used to put man on the moon.
Right.
And that was 3 stories of a huge building worth of a
Right.
computer.
Well, I'm
So
telling you,
technology is changing.
Our first contact is with social media.
Oh gosh,
That was the
yes.
first
Yeah, you're
contact.
right.
Think about it. You go back
yeah.
to the creation of MySpace
Mm-hmm.
and when Facebook first got started and
Right.
Twitter and all, now you've got Snapchat and you've got TikTok. You've got now that was our first contact with AI. It
Right.
started learning and
Right.
now I would say we've
the
moved
algorithm,
we've moved into second contact, which is now the creation aspect. AI is now creating, it's spitting out information.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows
right.
where it'll go from there. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
it's
Snapchat uses Chatbox,
Yeah,
which is sort of like Chat
it's
GPT.
yeah, it's exactly.
And Snapchat actually uses an AI now in its actual programming.
Yeah.
So
you can talk with an AI in Snapchat, which I'm
Yes.
like, I don't like that. We're not that cool.
I don't know.
Personally,
Well,
I'm not.
I would like to think that our listener that wrote us that thought we did a little bit more research
Yes.
on this one because we did.
yeah.
But I would like a score from both of y'all on the irony factor of 1 to 10 of me using AI to research AI.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's ironic. I think it's actually quite impressive, and it makes a lot of sense for the conversation that we're having right now. Because, I mean, what better way to talk about AI than to just ask the AI itself?
Yeah.
If we're at that point now where it can hold conversations with us. apparently.
Right?
So it's like,
Stoney, I'll give you a 10 because
You're gonna
that
give me
was
a 10?
actually pretty good.
Okay.
I
cool.
like it. Same.
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
cool. I like
You
that.
know.
Because that's what I like about this podcast is we get to do some goofy, fun stuff.
Right.
But it was interesting having a firsthand experience. Ian's kind of messed with AI before. Until we started talking about it, I didn't. Last night, when I sat down and did this, I did a week's worth of research
Yeah.
in an hour and a half.
Right.
That's huge.
And
I mean,
I think we brought some good content to
We
our
did.
listeners.
Yeah.
yes.
With what y'all had to say and a little bit of research here. And Jason has his notes, and Ian already knew enough,
Right.
because this was kind of his subject. We did this.
I've had this same sort of conversation in a couple times.
Right.
In the
So
past
you were
month.
prepared.
Just
You
in the
were
past-
ready.
Just in the past month, I've talked about this same sort of stuff.
Think about that. We were able
Yeah.
to do that, throw it together last minute
Right.
because of AI. That's insane to me.
Crazy.
And I'm encouraged by my first experience with AI.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to use it for other stuff.
I
But
may have to download it now and play with it.
it was interesting, and I'm kind of glad we did this. And it was fun. It was just, we got Ian kind of worked up, and we got to see his body language
Yeah.
completely change, because most of the time Ian's just kind of laid back and peace and
Right,
love
right,
and everything.
Right.
Boy, he got fired up. We could see the veins in his neck and his forehead popping up.
Right.
So,
Yeah. It's a scary subject, and I think we're moving into a scary time, and I just feel like, we're approaching our time here, but like I haven't even really. This can be a whole nother discussion too,
Okay.
in a different aspect of like, there's a lot of political discussion. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of talks of things right now that feel important because they're made to feel important. But I really feel like they're hiding what's really happening here. And AI, I think, is one of those things that they're hiding. They're
agree.
not talking about it. And it's not part of these major platforms. And there's just a lot of stuff that I feel like we're being distracted by. We're being distracted by a lot. TVs, movies, news, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like there's
Social media.
There's some things at play here that I don't feel like are being talked about. And I think that this is this is one of those things that I'm talking about. Of like it is.
I think we both agree with you.
Right.
And I think our listeners will too.
Well, I mean, if we're closing out, I look at AI and I go, will it transform society and lift us up?
I already think it has transformed society. I don't think it's going to lift us up though. I mean,
Well, with,
at least in the
like you
current
said, with
model,
social
So-
media, it has transformed society to a certain. It's made us lazier and compare our lives instead of being appreciative of what we have.
This kind of harkens back to another episode that we did on the great filter. Is this our great filter?
Maybe.
Will we get past it? I will always go back to what I kind of mentioned earlier, but we can either be transformed and this changes our society for the better,
right?
or we become like what J. Robert Oppenheimer said, "I have become death, the destroyer of worlds."
That's right.
Yikes!
Man,
Those are the two paths.
That's right.
Right.
that's it.
So
Oh man.
Man.
Well, on
This
that,
was a good episode. This was awesome.
well, on that light and cheery note,
That's right.
This episode. Coincidentally enough, we found the email address that's associated. We have a Facebook page /Retrospect Pod where you can reach out to us and give us some questions or give us some topics. Or ask us some questions, whatever it may be. But we've noticed, like we've talked about at the beginning of the episode, we have people that have been really giving us some robust responses.
Fantastic response.
Yes.
Yes.
On
Love
the
it.
on the Facebook page, you should be able to see
more
it.
feedback, everyone.
Right.
Yes.
We should have it on the Facebook page. The email address is getoffendedtogether@gmail.com. If you want to go ahead and if you can't fit what you have to say into the comment section on Facebook, you can just shoot us an email there. And I completely forgot about that email address until so I apologize for that. But we also have a link tree /Retrospect Pod where you can see all the major podcasting platforms and all that other stuff. But anyways, until next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. God bless.
You're the best. Peace.